Sometimes it feels like the stars just align. What I'm talking about here is a situation where there's a game that's on sale, like on deep discount sale, and I happen to just beat it. Wait, is that a twofer? Are we doing a sale video and then tacking the backlogs and a review video? Oh, that's a threefer. Back in my day, that was called a menage a trois. But fear not, faithful viewer. Before I get into the sordid love affair, I want to let you know I will not be giving any spoilers on the game at all, because that's the worst. You don't want to go into a game knowing a lot of spoilers, knowing too many plot points, things like that just ruin a game for you, and in fact make you not want to watch a review. So that's not what we're doing here. I'm just going to give you the basics of the game, and also tell you that right now this game is $3.74. What I'm talking about here is the Call of Juarez. Now, it is in a double pack as well with another game that I just happened to beat rather recently called Dying Light, and the double pack alone is like $10, which is insane. You guys have no idea what kind of value that is until you've been me and you've beaten both of them in the last month. It's like so many hours crammed into $10. Like, I don't think you can really have that much fun for $10. I've tried. Robert Kraft and I got arrested. It wasn't good. This way, you will not do jail time, only spend $10 and have a lot of fun. So what is actually the story behind Call of Juarez? Well, this is the fun thing about the game. You actually don't know if this is a made-up wives' tale so that your protagonist can get drunk, or if this is all a real story and this is just a troubled soul bearing out his emotions while also drinking back a few whiskeys. And if I'm being honest, I don't always love this storytelling format. See, one of my big issues with it is that you already know the ending in a way, because like you know your character survives, but they do some really fun stuff with it, especially towards the end, where they're blurring the lines between reality and, who knows, maybe a little bit of a psychoactive trip. You don't know. But I will say that the story involves the protagonist, Silas Greaves, being wronged, having to witness the murder of his two brothers while basically being left for dead himself. And his entire story takes off from here as he tries to hunt down the man who got him. Along the way, you'll meet Billy the Kid, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid. A lot of different people show up. I gotta say though, with the storytelling, what I really appreciated was all of the different little towns that you're in. And most of the towns are towns I've been to or live near right now. And it was kind of interesting to see that some of these actual events line up. Now, they're not nearly as gruesome or as over the top as this game makes it out to be, but there is legitimately some truth behind some of these stories, and that is one of the fun collectibles, is the nuggets of truth that you find throughout the level. And it's definitely like the dork in me that really appreciated finding all of these quote-unquote nuggets of truth. Really what they are is they're just more information into the situation that you're in or that you came from, you know, deeper stories about these actual events that happened in these actual American towns hundreds of years ago. And it's really cool. At least I felt it was. I'm sure there's enough people who'd be like, no, that's boring, man. I don't care. Put me back into the shooting gallery. And that's fine, because this game pairs that kind of information with, yes, basically an on-rail shooter, which gets crazy, and also has a lot of elements of an RPG. What do I mean by that? Well, as I said, it is an on-rail shooter, so to speak. You have a little bit about control about where you go, obviously, so you can find these nuggets of truth, but everything's pretty much closed off, and you are basically guided in the right direction. You can't get lost, I'll put it that way. But as you end up killing men and doing tasks and whatever, you also get experience. And these experience points can go into 3 different categories. You can go into like ranger, like a sniper, a rifle user, a dual wielder, and close combat. Now, each one of these things all have some sort of perks and benefits that go along with it. And if you're me, you're able to upgrade most of all 3 of them by the time the game's over. It really didn't seem to matter too much. It did, but it didn't. I gotta be honest, like, the biggest incentive for that for me was actually the guns you unlock when you fully upgrade a path. There's a couple little paths to each section, and you'll see a gun on the other side of it, and when you upgrade that can be like a 20 to 30% buff in some of your stats, and that really helps. But to be honest, not much really felt different. Now, I understand like that's probably for the best, because it keeps the game fresh, and it keeps it, challenging without being too challenging. And I have to say, yes, this game was not that difficult, but it was fun and gave you enough challenge where you felt like, oh, I might die here. Yeah, you're constantly kind of fighting for cover, looking for places to reload, and then retaking shots. Now, with all that said, I have to say too, graphically, this game is really pretty. I mean, it has, I think, that cel-shaded art, and like, it works really, really well. And I think over time, I'm starting to realize just how important that art style is, especially for keeping games like it preserves graphical integrity. And that sounds weird to say, but it definitely does in some form. Realism can really go out of date quick, but this form really seems to make everything pop, and it definitely does with this game. I understand this game is like a 360 era game, I believe, and it really doesn't show it. It looks really, really good for that time, but that's not the only important thing, how well it looks, but also how well it performs, and I never had a single problem. Now, obviously, no glitches, no bugs, no lockouts, anything like that, but also just performance as far as feeling like there was stuttering or frame rate drops. No, I never had a single issue, and that is a lot to say, because at times this game gets crazy. There's explosions left and right, there's gunshots going, there's enemies shooting at you, you're shooting back at enemies, little, special moves are being used, not like Super Saiyan, but like there are some legit kind of, maybe bullet time events that happen, but none of these really seem to mess with the system, and the game plays pretty well. And ultimately, I owe a lot to JP at Good Talk HQ for suggesting this game. Had he not, I probably would have never played it. I never really thought that this game looked that fun. I've seen it for years, but I'm really glad I picked it up. I picked it up, let's say, more expensive than $3.74 like it is now, or in a bundle with Dying Light for $10. Either way though, it's well worth it. Like, I think I paid in the $10 range, and I'm glad I did. It was definitely worth $10, let alone the deal that it's on right now. Or if you haven't for some reason played Dying Light as well, my god, you're getting a steal with this bundle. Like, this is an amazing bundle. You should pick it up now, and just, this is one of those things that I always say, well, if I don't buy it, I'm losing money. No, you really are losing money on this one if you don't pick it up. It's such an amazing amount of fun on both games, and like, as I was saying before, Dying Light was one of those games that I played, and once I got to the ending, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm really gonna miss this game. I have enjoyed this game far more than I thought I would. And you have that kind of game, that like huge, massive collectathon slash just, whatever you want to call it, with Dying Light, and then you pair that with an on-rail shooter that just fits perfectly at around that 10-hour mark, and these are two great games to have in your library, and if you can do that for less than, $15 for two amazing games, you should definitely do it. But that's my thoughts on Call of Juarez, and I guess Dying Light in a way. I really appreciate both of these games, loved them, they were so great. I'm glad I actually got a chance to go back and play them. I'm glad that this thing's run on the Switch, and it's interesting to see that you also get like these special editions with both. All the DLC, everything included. Yes, they're older games, but if you haven't had a chance to play them, then by all means, definitely take the opportunity. That's my thoughts on it all. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.